today's lesson is for a song that from the very first time I heard it, I absolutely loved it, still do. This came out in 1987. The band are the Icicle Works. The album is If You Want to Defeat Your Enemy, Sing His Song. And the song is Up Here in the North of England. Now, like every lesson, this is just how I play it. And I'm basing this on the performance that was on the Tube from 1987 live performance, and some more recent performances, because Ian seems to have changed the way he plays some parts of the verse. But as ever, I will try and make this as easy as possible. So we're in standard tuning. I'm using a Greco Stratocaster with Fender Custom 69 pickups and a divided by 13 amp, not particularly overdriven. We're in standard tuning. Now I think maybe they played this live, maybe in drop D, but I'm just playing it normal. And on the studio version, I would say this is played on a 12 string. Sounds like a 12 string anyway. So it's quite difficult to replicate the whole thing. But hopefully from the intro, you thought that sounded okay. So let's continue on. So this is just like one chord shape that we're doing. So the notes we're playing are, we're using the D string, open D string as a pedal tone. Now if you're using a 12 string, this sounds better because the D will have an octave D on it as well, but it rings a bit when you're just using a 6 string, but that's how they play it live. So it's open D, 14 of G, and then 15 of B across them. Now when you're doing that, you're best to use this shape. I use my pinky up here on the 17th fret of the top E string, and that's the shape we're using. So the way we're picking this, so it's open D, 14 G, 15 B, back to 14 of the G. That's the first picking part. And then over to 17 on the E, back to 15 of B, and that's the shape we use for these three chords. So play that slowly. Now we move that whole thing down to the 10th fret. We're still playing the open D, don't play it quite as hard though, and we're using the same picking, so we're on 10 of G, 11 of B, and 13 of E. Play that once, move the whole shape up again. So we're playing off still the open D, but it's 12 of G, 13 of B, and 15 of E. Same picking again. So that's the same shape, we're just playing it in 3 different places, same picking. The first one we play twice. And that's the main chords in the intro. Now on the studio version, I think he's maybe just playing those chords over the verse, because the verse follows the same chords. I think he's maybe just playing. But when you watch Icicle Works playing it live, playing a D, just D chord, D5, I'm not playing any note on the top string, so it's just open D, 2 of the G string, 3 of the B string, and let that hang. Now I think earlier on, certainly it looks like on the Tube live version, I think the next chord is, it's an A sharp chord it should be, but I think he's just playing 3 of G, B, and 1 of top E, so it's maybe just move that whole thing up, same string. So that would be the verse as it was played back then. But watching more recent video, he's taken to playing it just with the D, and then just one finger over the 3rd fret of D, G and B. Move that up 2 to 5 same strings. That seems to be a more sort of recent version. I mean, it doesn't matter, whatever sounds best to your ears. And then we get to, I guess, what will be the sort of pre-chorus. It's a slight change of rhythm here and it's difficult to pick up, but the chords starts with a G, and then the next thing is 2 of A as a passing note to go into a C major chord. So just your normal C major chord, 3 of A, 2 of D, open G, and 1 of B. So first part of the chorus, and then down to the B again, and then an A minor. So the first part of the chorus, and then a C note, 3rd fret of the A, to a D. So that's really the chorus, the first 3 parts anyway. I'll play that slowly. Now I think when he's coming back the second time, there's a pickup on the open G, so the open E, and then 2 of E into the G chord. So that's the rhythm. So what I'll do is I'll play those 3 times, and that's the first part of the chorus. Now in the fourth one, the last one, we go to the A minor, but then we just come back and there's a build up on the C chord to the D. So I'll play the whole chorus. And then the first time round we go back into the intro. Back into the verse. Put that whole part twice into the chorus. And then on the studio version, in the middle 8, there's keyboards, and in the live version, there's just hammering out those 3 chords with quite a bit more distortion. That does that 2 times. Now, if you watch Ian, what he's playing on the 3rd one, he's playing. So it's the open D, playing 7 of G, and then hammering, toggle between 8, 7 of G. And then up to still open D, but 10 of G. Open D again, and this time is 12 of G. So that's the first part. And then the next time he goes up, still playing the open D, but playing 14 of G. So he's playing the 14 of G, but bending that. And then back to the 2 chords. Into the chorus. And that is how I would play up here in the north of England by the Icicle Works. As ever, folks, privilege and a pleasure not showing you my face on Dundee's Guitar World 2. Cheers for now.